to you out there this lovely day, which is the 7th day of November 2025. My name is Ajuru Chukwuka. Welcome to the press review.
My name is Nonya Wokoye, speaking with the press review. Right, it's good to welcome you to the press review this morning. It's a Wednesday episode and we've been joined in the studio by this young man here, Chidubem Ezekwe, for analysis. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Anambrarians. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, we have a lot of papers here and of course, stories making their headlines on ABS website. We begin with stories from ABS website. And Soludo presents 757,884 billion naira budget to Anambra Assembly for 2026 fiscal year. 2026 budget, Soludo reassures of fiscal discipline, accelerated development. Archbishop Ibezim asked priests to uphold sense of sacrifice. And of course, Nigerian Army decorates 315 newly promoted soldiers in Imo. Tinubu moves to reform legal practice in Nigeria. Election unrest. Tanzania cancels Independence Day celebration. And World Cup FIFA announces draw. These are much stories we are trending this morning. Yesterday was budget presentation, and I noticed that it is like it happened in virtually most of the states in Nigeria. Like I saw the one from Lagos, then Abia State, and of course there's one other state that presented yesterday as well. So what's your take on that?
Well, presentation of budget kind of bets or sees to it that accountability is key. It is one of the most beautiful things about democracy, one of the most wonderful things about the relationship between the executive arm of government and the legislative arm of government. Is a very wonderful thing. And 757.884 billion naira budget for 2026, it's a wonderful thing. It's a very wonderful thing. Even though I expected more than that in a way, but it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. And when it comes to management of resources, when it comes to handling resources, I give it to the governor of Anambra State. That is his field.
All right. Any other story you want to look at before we move to the daily stare? I don't know if there's another story you would take a look at before we move.
Well, there is really nothing more. The next is 2026. Soludo reassures of fiscal discipline. Archbishop Ibezim asking priests to uphold sense of sacrifice. That is what they should do. Nigerian Army decorates 315 newly promoted soldiers. That is what they should do. Tinubu moving to reform legal practice in Nigeria. That is important too.
A step in the right direction.
Yes, a step in the right direction. We need to have an independent judiciary, just as we need to have an independent electoral body, electoral committee. Election unrest, Tanzania cancels Independence Day. When I heard the president of Tanzania, what she did, arresting people over criticism and then releasing them. She's a woman actually, president of Tanzania. I said, okay, good and fine. She released them later and said that she's a mother, apparently, that she's going to pardon them. World Cup, FIFA announces draw. I have nothing to say on that one. I would leave it to the sports general in our midst.
All right, let's now move to the dailies. These stories making their headlines.
All right, the first daily we have this morning to discuss is the Daily Sun newspaper, and then we have it at the on the banner headline is UN predicts severe food crisis in Nigeria, saying rising insurgency, worsening food scarcity, regional instability. Also, we have insecurity. Catholic bishops demand end to Sharia law. Wow. Wow, let's see how that goes. As the writer they're saying, as Anglican bishop urges leaders to stop playing politics with innocent blood. And then also here we have Sonolu, Soludo, Muifu, Oti presents 4.2 billion naira budget, 757 budget, 884 billion naira budget, 1.01 trillion naira budget for 2026. Let's see how that goes. Tinubu seeks overhaul of legal profession to strengthen regulation, ethics, public confidence. Dangote partners Honeywell International to boost refinery capacity to 1.4. We have UNICEF, NGE, DM, GAME demand urgent reform as insecurity, poor services threaten future of 110 million children. Quickly, let's see what the Guardian has for us this morning. Dangote partners Honeywell International on refinery expansion to 1.4 million barrels per day, 2028 target. Also, we have rising insecurity may push 35 million Nigerians into severe hunger in 2026, UN warns. And then INEC vows crackdown on election rigging. Wiki orders comprehensive security reinforcement across Abuja. And then we have, as the banner headline, insecurity triggers rare APC dissent in reps amid fresh Kwara Kanu attacks. Sani warns northern leaders against playing politics with insecurity. Federal government denies banning open grazing, confirms transition to ranching. Sonolu promises shared prosperity with 4.23 trillion naira 2026 budget. And then we have federal government unveils online classes for schools, over 1.2 million teacher shortage. I really don't understand some of the things that we read here. I really don't understand where they get all this from. CBN holds interest rate at 27% as 16 banks meet recapitalization target. And also we have here the Guardian shines Abdim Award bags best design media website. And that's all we have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Children, UN predicts severe crisis in Nigeria. That's no longer prediction, that's what is facing every person.
Akin to prophecy, right?
In fact, we've been in it for a very, very long time. So what's your take on it? What do we need to do differently that the government is not doing? Let's
Okay.
put stories together because we still have the same story here in the Guardian newspaper. Rising insecurity will push 35 million Nigerians into severe hunger come 2026.
Okay. Insecurity is rife right now in Nigeria. Every day you see videos. You see people, children, youths, adults who are being kidnapped, who are being whisked away, who are being abducted and kept in solitary confinement or absolute incarceration without any recourse, without any hope of freedom or escaping, something like that. And you wonder, just what is the problem? You see, security of lives and property is the primary duty of every government. That you have brought out people out of poverty, you have given people what they need, that you have helped people to overcome plenty of problems, and insecurity is rife. Let's take Anambra for example. You heard that some parts of Ihiala, if not all, so many parts of Ihiala, the members of that community, people who live in that community, ran away for years. Some parts of Obaru, they disappeared. Some parts of Orumba North, some parts of Orumba South, they disappeared. So these are things that bring a lot of pain to the heart. These are things that bring a lot of pain to the heart. Like you said, it is no prediction. It is typical reality, something that will happen if steps are not taken to curb these issues as soon as possible. I tell you, it has gotten to a point where there is nothing much to be said, but action only. It has gotten to that point where nothing but absolute action and action is the Kantian categorical imperative. It has gotten to that point where the president must step up. Though the president said that he has been in meetings, and when you look at the president's countenance in the meeting, the pictures that came out from the meeting, you will see that, oh, he is really, really affected. So we just pray and we hope and we anticipate betterment and betterhood from all this. Because there is no person, even the most wicked person, even the most callous individual in Nigeria right now is going to frown at the nonsense that is going on in Nigeria.
Okay.
Let me leave it there.
Still talking about the insecurity triggers where APC dissent in reps amid fresh Kwara Kanu attacks. Sometimes, in governance, when we see people aligning for a particular purpose, like we see APC, swinging or swimming towards a one-state party system in Nigeria, and then now you begin to wonder, does it mean that this insecurity that we are facing in every part of this country jeopardize whatever plans of campaign they have? Because you're more like playing into the opposition camp when you can't arrest issues of insecurity, food, and now we're seeing 1.2 million naira, 1.2 million teachers, shortage of teachers in Nigeria. We're talking about going online. How many areas do we even have internet facilities that children can actually go to school? So I really don't know what the APC has for Nigerians based on the present situation we find ourselves. And now we're having red APC dissent amongst them based on these issues that is happening all over the country. What's your take on that? Is APC actually a political party that can rescue Nigeria from the quagmire we find ourselves?
It is a gangrenous and putrefactive society that we have. And as the numbers go up, as the numbers increase, tears increase, emotions get higher, and the pains, the absolute pain increases. 1.2 million shortage of teachers. I have never heard that type of thing in my life. I think on 16th of January 2024, when I appeared on Press Review here, I said something. I said that when you read the papers, when you peruse the pericopes of papers in Nigeria, you start laughing hysterically. Now, you no longer start laughing. You keep some space and some time for you to weep, because it doesn't require crying, it requires weeping. It is a terrible thing. And most times when you tell people about working in Nigeria, when you tell people about going to register to work in Nigeria, and they remember the working conditions, the minimum wage, the haphazardous ambience, the insecurity, the hazard and the health hazards, and the imbroglios and the impasse and the unending quagmires, that is the concomitant effect of going into this work. Teachers, like I said, let me repeat my stand on this. Teachers and medical practitioners should be in one group. People of particular concern, PPC. Members of the media, like you people, should be on one group. People of particular concern that should be looked after very well by the government. The judiciary, in one side, people of particular concern. Then the electoral body, on one side, people of particular concern. These are people that you must look after. All these people that do overtime, they are always there. Most of them sleep over. Most of them don't even have time for their families. These are things that you must do. For every profession out there, teachers have contributed immensely and significantly to the actualization of that profession. And 1.2 million teachers. Nigeria is 1.2 million short of teachers. It is horrible.
There's this story I'm seeing in front of the Guardian newspaper here, and I was like,
what is it?
Federal government denying banning of open grazing confirms the transition to ranching, and of course, standing warning northern leaders against playing politics with insecurity, which seems to be happening in Nigeria for some time now.
Okay, Which one should we look at?
You take them one after the other, please. They are important.
What's the first one?
The first one is the ban. I saw the ban yesterday. That
Open
government
grazing. Yeah.
has banned open grazing yesterday. Now they are coming out to deny that it was not banned, that they are moving to ranching.
Okay.
So you're saying you did not ban, but you're moving, so they'll be doing open grazing and ranching together. Is that what they're trying to tell us?
Well, sometimes you just get confused. You won't even know the one you're going to look at first. Let me take the ranching thing first. When you move across the road, sometimes highways, and you see headsmen, I don't want to mention tribe, so it won't be as if I'm tribalizing the issue. Even though we here, we know the people behind this, I don't want to mention tribe. When you move along the road and you see people who do these things, you will be so flabbergasted, and you would wonder, in a developed society, these things, you can't see them there. There is time for everything. You cannot see this type of nonsense oh no. And now they're talking about ranching, talking about all these things. These things are just because, in fact, it's not even something that we should be spending our time discussing at all. Now, next, Sani warns northern leaders against playing politics with insecurity. You see, that is just the problem. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. Kidnap the son of a prominent person, maybe a senator, a governor, and you will see the enthusiasm, you will see the rampacious exuberance, you will see the intel mannerism, the style that the policemen and DSS will use to swing into action.
Where will you see them to kidnap them?
That is the problem. So
please, let's go on
until it happens to you.
Them. Okay, let's go on to other papers. I just had to bring out those stories because I don't know whether we're going to see them in the other papers. Let's look at the Daily Trust newspaper now and see stories coming from there. 24 Kebbi schoolgirls rescued. Okay, see their picture in front of the paper. Okay, we thank God for that. And of course, other stories, the 8 days after PDP Secretariat remain shut as factions head to court. Still in front of the Daily Trust, we have again Daily Trust backs Dame Best Designed Newspaper Award. MPC retention of interest rates could boost lending to MSMEs, experts speaking. And of course, Kaduna attack, Mamu received 50 million naira from ransom fund, DSS speaking. Let's move on down to the next paper, the Nigerian Tribune. Tinubu orders aerial surveillance of Kwara, Niger, Kebbi forest. Okay. 24 kidnapped Kebbi schoolgirls regain freedom. We thank God. And of course, Sanwo-Olu presents, we've seen that before, CBN retains monetary policy rate at 27%. HID Awolowo dialogue. Stakeholders call for domestication of national gender policy. And okay, just on health there, let's look at health issues. Skin lightening product use is high in children under 2 years in Nigeria. That's from a study. I wonder who is using skin lightening cream on a child that have on a child that has not been exposed to light. I don't know. I wonder what you stand to gain by that. You know, you want to produce anyanwototo from your stomach.
It's okay.
Yes, so I think that's from the banner headline of surveillance of Kwara, Niger, Kebbi forest, and again, bandits attack Kwara community, abduct 11 residents. State government sets up safer Kwara security committee to curtail breaches, and then 10 kidnapped in Kanu, border communities, and Modepu commences patrol of boarding
they coordinate.
What do you have to say about it? Because this is not detailed enough for us to actually, believe that the president is actually coordinating, just like the paper said yesterday, coordinating the rescue of the 38 worshippers that were picked up from Iruku. You understand?
Yes.
That was what the paper said, that President Tinubu coordinated, more like he piloted or he was in the forefront of the rescue mission. And now we are seeing Tinubu orders aerial surveillance. To me, I really don't understand this. We should be hearing from the service chiefs on what moves there. Why would the president be the one? More like being the forefront.
Okay, now, looking at it from the angle of secrecy as a predominant factor and a dominant factor of security architecture, I think I kind of understand him. You must be secretive, you must be discreet when it comes to security. Like when Donald Trump was going on a debate with Clinton, Trump seriously criticized Clinton for that. Why are you telling the enemy everything you want to do? Just don't say, I am coming to bomb ISIS, I'm coming to destroy ISIS. Only announce to the world that you have done it. So when it comes to that angle, I understand the president in a way. Now the second angle, this is no time for theories. This is no time for announcements. Every service chief is supposed to be held accountable. You see, this is one place where I always respect the FCT minister. Every month he comes out to organize a media rally and he tells journalists to ask him questions based on the politics of Nigeria, based on what he does in FCT, how much, and he spends his time explaining. This is what we have done in Jiwa, this is the road we are doing, this is an airport road, this is how much you have spent, this is how much is remaining, this is when it will come out. Whether you like him or hate him, you cannot deny the significance of that thing that he does. Even when he was a local government chairman, Wike was doing that. Media Pali, as a local government chairman, he was doing that. This is what we have done, this is what we will do by next year, this is how much we have spent. We need that right now. We have rescued 24 people, we have rescued 28 people. Look at how many people are remaining, look at where they are. As you are still employing the theory of secrecy, you must ensure that Nigerians who have lost hope, because whether you like it or not, so many Nigerians have lost hope. You must ensure that those Nigerians that have lost hope, that just like the agendum of the president, the mantra of his campaign peregrination, renewed hope. You must renew the hope.
All right, we're still talking about kidnapping, and we saw what happened yesterday. Schools are being shut in the northern states, yes. And now the Nigerian Union of Teachers are threatening for nationwide shutdown of schools as a result of kidnapping. And what do we call that? Okay. I would have who is even at the helm of affairs of the Nigerian Union of Teachers? Let's really find out.
I would have loved to look at the issue of somebody applying skin lightening cream.
Okay, we'll still get to that.
No, you see, just like I said, teachers are so underappreciated in Nigeria. Teachers are so underappreciated in Nigeria.
Could that be the reason why they are clamoring for shutdown of school nationwide?
You know, when you have been feeling pains for a long time, and another painful thing happens, and another painful thing happens, and you get annoyed, you decide to join all the painful sectors of your characteristics, or let's say of your character, and you decide to speak out. They are concerned. You know, I keep telling people, the only people that are actually interested in you succeeding more than them are your parents and your teachers. Your parents and your teachers. I don't think there are people that beat these two when it comes to, I want you to succeed more than me. Your parents and your teachers.
Your politicians.
Primary. I'm talking about the primary people. The primary people. That's the secondary people.
It's like he's a politician.
No. Well, it depends. It depends. So,
the skin lightening.
To shut down schools, we must actually get back to the drawing table. Like I always say, we must get back to the drawing table, to that negotiation table, and talk about these things. Skin lightening. I don't know.
2 years.
A 2-year-old child?
No, they said it's increasing for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yes, I noticed it.
Whether it is baby Nayoka, I want to know what's up that they want to produce, or if it is up now they want to produce, or if it's according to flavor, you know, if that is what they want to do for a child of 2. I remember when a bill was passed in National Assembly about bleaching cream. Insecurity is rife, joblessness is rife, societal quagmire is rife, societal imbroglio is rife, unemployment is rife, food insecurity is rife, and all you can think about is bleaching cream.
Bleaching cream for a child, not even an adult.
It is really horrible. Sometimes we need to take some people who are going to be parents to mental facilities, asylums, where they will be diagnosed, where they will, I'm telling you the truth, because so many people are preparing for wedding and not marriage. So many people are preparing for wedding, traditional marriage, the extravaganza and the epicureanism that accompanies the vuvuzelas, the noise, the wonderful feelings of enjoyment, and they are not concerned. What do you expect from people who, when they are about to marry, go to wear wigs worth millions of naira, go to buy gowns worth millions of naira, gather people, pampara, papara, and all those things, and at the end of the day, how can they have sense?
But I think at this point in time, or really, rather, don't you think it's important for, you know, health people to come out to enlighten our people about the dangers of using such chemicals on children? Because I see it as chemicals. Knowing that there are foods you would give a child.
Highly corrosive.
There are gifts you will give a child, and the child will look so fine.
Yes.
You know, without even using cream.
Yes.
I remembered when we were giving birth, there's this thing that came out that time. Mothers were not using creams on their kids that time. I think around between 2003 and 2007, you know, mothers stopped using creams on the bodies of their children until they get to a particular age. That was, I don't know who told them not to use creams anyway, but they were doing it then. So I wonder who taught them, or how this thing came about. Is it I don't know what to call it anyway, but whoever taught them this, I don't know.
You see, by the time we discover that our ancestors were right, by the time we discover that our parents were right, we would have birthed children who already think we are wrong. All these things that we are doing, you see people telling you, 1967, 1960, we were eating nonsense. Today, it turns out that those things we call nonsense are healthier than what we eat today. A child of 16 collapses, and an autopsy is run, and high blood pressure is the cause of death. A young guy of 20 collapses, and autopsy is done, and high blood pressure, kwashiorkor, kidney failure, and all those things happen to be the diagnosis. You see, we cannot take away the fact that we as a people, we have always had wonderful things. We have always had wonderful lives. Ask somebody out there, what have you been eating? I take Indomie, I take things, I take drinks, I take canned food, I take a lot of things. When last did you take leaves? When last did you take vegetables?
When last did you
eat? So of course, things that are core, things that are natural, they will not do that. Even creams. Even if you watch, okay, all right, I'm even going far. Let me give you an example based on a cartoon, anime. You see people, lions, going to roll on wonderful flowers after it has rained so that they can smell nice, bowing to nature. But these days, a mother is interested. Let me take pictures with my children so that they can look fantastic. Let me apply lipstick. If you see where a child of 2, a child of 3 is being made up, you see the makeup on the child, you will wonder, and it is a mama na kwaka.
All right.
If I was a mama, what's
all right,
going on?
I think our children should be allowed to be children. Let's
Yes.
allow them to be children. Let's move on now to other papers.
Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with other papers. Don't worry, we should continue. Glad to have you back from that short break. Let's continue, and the next paper we'll have for review this morning is the Authority newspaper. And then we have great excitement as 24 abducted Kebbi schoolgirls regain freedom. That's the banner headline, with the writers there saying Tinubu assures citizens of safety. And also we have 2027 Tinubu appoints Uzodinma as renewed Hope Ambassador. That you can find on page 4. Governor Soludo presents 606 billion naira budget for budget proposal for 2026. That you can find on page 10. Also terrorism, federal government orders air land security cordon around Kwara. Presidency sent legal practitioners bill to Senate for major reforms. And at the mast of the Authority newspaper, we have genocide. Nigeria's secular state under threat. Catholic bishop saying, I will support amnesty for Kanu if he shows remorse. That's coming from Sheikh Gumi. NDPHC workers appeal for VP's intervention in promotion policy shift. And then CBN retains interest rates at 27%. That's it. Quickly, let's see what the Punch newspaper have for us. And then we have it as the banner headline: kidnapping spree escalates as federal government negotiates hostages freedom. Wow. 18 months. 18 mothers, children, others abducted in fresh Kanu Kwara raid. Kebbi girls freed. Federal government decides negotiation with bandits. That's terrible. Wike block asks court to notify PDP convention. Someone who presents 4.2 trillion naira 2026 Lagos budget. CCB plans digital assets declaration to curb corruption. 2027, I will stop rigging, vote buying, and moped on vows. And then we have 7 years single term will stabilize governance. That's coming from LASU professor. What's the difference? 7 years, 8 years.
All right, congratulations to the Punch newspaper. I think they've emerged the newspaper of the year. It's no mean feat there. All right, let's run. Chidubem. No. Chidubem.
Okay. I think the paper you read before this one, which one is that?
Authority.
The Authority. I'll support amnesty for Kano if he shows remorse. Interesting. You see, on the 20th of November, Justice Omotosho delivered a judgment sentencing IPOB leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment and 25 years imprisonment that will run concurrently. It cast Nigerians, especially people from the Southeastern Division, into two. Those for, those against. Those who are pro and those who are anti, as expected. People began to ask questions. This is unfair. This is unfair. Which brings me to the salient thing that I've always said. Your feelings are valid. Your emotions are valid. But they are not valid when it comes to reality. Your feelings are wonderful. Your emotions are valid. But in a court of law, is immaterial. What the judge would use are facts at his disposal. Over 70 videos of him were played in court. When they got to a certain level, where I listened to him saying, if you see any policeman, kill him, all those things, cut off his head, all those things, that was when I knew that this was what was going to happen, you know. Talking about, I will support amnesty if he shows remorse. It is significant. It is very significant. Because it is something that should be considered from one angle. There are those who have talked about presidential pardon. Presidential pardon. That the president might use it, 2027. People have talked about that. But I don't really see that happening. It depends though. One thing about Nigeria is that some things are predictable and the predictability of some things lie in their own predictability. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
So Gumi now is the go-to person when he has to talk about granting amnesty.
Well, for me, I think he's just making a statement.
Is this not?
I think he's just making a statement.
Negotiator with terrorists and bandits that we all know in this country.
That is it now. That is it. And that is why we must be careful what we do. For those who are asking, show me where other people are doing this and other people are doing this, and I ask them, have you ever seen another person coming out with his face showing, making so much declarations like that? Another thing I want to look at from the authorities, where they said Governor Soludo presents 606 billion budget. I thought it's 757. Where did they get that news from? Anyway, perhaps they said budget proposal. Okay, that's it.
But so, there's something I saw, when Ajulu was actually reading out these headlines, excitement that as 24 abducted Kebbi schoolgirls regain freedom. Okay. The thought that came to my mind is, so these people can actually rescue kidnapped victims under some days or some hours. Yes. So it's possible. Yes. And what happened to Chibok girls?
Good. Nice one. You see, in 2022, 17th of November precisely, I received a kind of life threat. The person was giving me my locations and everything. I went to DSS and made a statement, and they were all caught. Nigeria has facilities. Nigeria has wonderful security architecture. The problem is we are under-policed. 220 million, 230 million, 240 million Nigerians, and we have less than 500,000.
If they want to, if they are ready to work or are serious to work.
That is also something that must be considered. The president has days ago issued a statement that policemen attached to VIPs should be withdrawn, that they should work with NSCDC, civil defense. That's a nice thing. We need to rejig the entire policemen of Nigeria. We need to rejig the entire security architecture of Nigeria. The army, the police, the naval staff, all of them. We must rejig them. Because I was asking somebody the other day, what is the function of civil defense? Thank God, I believe the president has answered that question. We need to, number one, increasing the number of policemen, making it very, very wonderful for them to work. That is what I'm trying to say. At least 230, 240 million Nigerians. We need about 10 to 20 million policemen. Yes. How many first men are in the USA?
All right.
USA has about 400 million.
All right. Our time is running very fast, but there is a story I would want us to use to wrap up this show. Is in Vanguard newspaper. We've seen most of the stories in Vanguard in other papers. So let's take this one. That Nigeria's high level of insecurity is worrisome. That is coming from Catholic bishops. I don't know, and owing to the fact that their school was amongst the schools attacked and children taken away. So, what's your take on that?
Very good. You see,
quickly,
if the religious leaders of Nigeria have been doing what is expected of them, the problems we have would not be this bad. It won't be this topsy-turvy. They are trying, actually. I give it to them. They have done well by speaking up. But there are so many governors, there are so many leaders who listen to religious leaders. In some states, it is religious leaders that come out to do campaign or something like that. I don't want to mention one state where we do the Catholic and Anglican thing, all those things. They do it. So if they actually do what is expected of them, things will not be as bad as they are. Now, Nigeria's level of insecurity, somebody will say they are talking because that happened to their schools. See, everybody must participate. Security is everybody's business. If you see something, say something, so that the authorities can do something, so that they can then tell us something and we can know something. That is it.
All right, we can actually go on and on, but that's the much time could allow us take on the press review this morning. We'd like to thank you so much, Chidubem, for coming. And of course, let's keep our fingers crossed, praying for our nation, because we don't have any other one but this one. That's it on the press review.
Up next will be